I am Jessie Ellender, professional registered dietitian. That's my first credential these days, and professional chef from years gone by, and currently still full time working from home. And also, of course, being at home with my kids during the COVID-19 lockdown. I think we're entering phase 3 in Illinois, but not quite in Chicago. It's May 5th. And of course, life is very complicated by the extremely justified civil unrest in response to the murder of George Floyd. That sits deep on my heart and life. So I wanted to come on. I'm on here to bring love and peace and joy and all that I can, including understanding to everybody out there. And I don't feel it's okay to make a show without commenting on what's going on in the world. Today is Friday, and right now I'm going to be making something that was supposed to be for Shabbos dinner tonight, but I didn't get my stuff together until kind of late. So this is actually going to be for Shabbat lunch tomorrow. I'm making a beef tzimmes. Tzimmes, my understanding is it means mixture, and in my father's mother, my grandmother's house, tzimmes was always a mixture of potatoes, sweet potatoes, prunes, apricots. It was a sweet flavor, and it was often paired with beef or cooked all together. And that is what I'm doing today. And I'm doing it in my Instant Pot, and there isn't room to plug it in over here, so the pot's right there. Look at my tiny little Instant Pot. Look, it's so little, squishing the Instant Pot. So I'm going to get all the ingredients in here, and then I'm going to put it on slow cook. It's 5 p.m., so I'm going to cook it for about 6 hours, because then I'm going to go to bed. It could go longer. It could go 12 hours. I've got this really nice cut of beef ribs with a whole bunch of meat on there that needs that slow cooking. You know, in the Instant Pot, I could do it on fast. I could do it on high pressure, and it would come out. But the sinew and collagen and all the good parts of that beef, the slow cooking really does it better. So I'd rather use the slow cook function in my Instant Pot and get it right than do it fast and have it for dinner. I've got a chicken dish I'm going to make for dinner. So what are the ingredients? Let's look at this going on. I'm just going to layer it into the pot, season it, and then get it cooking. So I've got some onion. Oh, you can't see. Hang on. Here we go. There's my cutting board. So I've got some onion, some garlic, some potatoes, a sweet yam, a sweet potato, apricots, prunes, delicious prunes. Can't see in there. Pit of darkness. I'm also going to put in some raisins because I don't know what I was. I'm not going to judge myself, but I went to Costco a couple months ago and bought a bag of raisins, and we don't eat a lot of raisins, so I got a lot of raisins to use. So I'm going to put some raisins in my tzimmes, and if it truly means mixture from the Eastern European tradition, then that'll be just fine. I like having some sweetness in our food because there's so much bitterness in the world. So, some good comfort foods. Right, so this is going to be eaten onion, so I'm going to cut it into a very small, not a tiny dice, but a small dice, and I'm doing it this way today because that's where my knife went, and that's going to be just fine. My potatoes are all clean. They came in a gifted CSA that I'm very grateful for. It's been so difficult. I don't know how to say it, because for so many people, for so many black and brown people, people of color, it has been difficult to get food in food deserts when there's systemic racism, there's poverty. So it's been difficult to get food for decades, for years, for hundreds of years. It's been difficult to get food. So the fact that it's difficult to get to the grocery store right now, it was difficult with just the pandemic, right? But to add to that, civil unrest, protests, and then, the very few violent actors out there, making it more difficult for those of us with so much privilege. It's just a taste. That's how I look at it. Just a taste. Ooh. I'm out of my my dough scrapers because I made challah today, so they're both in the wash. I haven't washed the dishes. You can see them behind me when I have the camera angle up. Onions are going into the Instant Pot. And then I'm going to leave these potatoes. I don't think I'm going to use all of them because this is how much meat I have. And I want the potatoes under the meat and then the fruit over. So I'm going to just quarter the potatoes. This is a beautiful pink potato. What's in here? I think this one's purple. Yep, it is. Yay, purple potatoes. They are so amazing. Look at that color on there. That's a potato, guys. Yeah, right? I know. And they smell like potato, starchy. So I'm just going to do like 3 of each. Pink and purple. Because they could go together. This is going to be a really dark stew when it comes out. That's a little bit telling. So anyway, I'm really grateful for the food that does arrive, and I'm also really conscious of my privilege as an apparently white person. I say that. I know it's controversial. As a Jew, I just feel that's my truth. I was also, raised in a black neighborhood, and in my youngest days in the 1970s, I was taught the truth that black is beautiful and white people are bad. So that's what I've always believed, and I've never wanted to be a white person, so that's why I respond to it that way, because white people are the man. They're horrible. We need to fight against the man. So I've, of course, never considered myself one, and then, thank you, Mankind Project, the new warrior training. I didn't go to the training, of course, because I am not, but they held a training on white privilege that I attended in, when was that? 2005 or 2006? I remember it made me really uncomfortable because I didn't understand that. I knew that I had experienced some nasty things in my life as somebody who wasn't black. As some bad experiences. Also as somebody who was, not who I was a punk, Mohawk and all, and I had experiences, and I thought, no, I don't have that white privilege. But then when I looked at it over the years, over the months, over the days, I want to chop that up actually. Hang on. Hold your horses. You're talking too much. You're not paying attention to cooking. So anyway, I struggled with it, but then I learned more. I studied more, and I learned more, and I read more, and I investigated more, and I had conversations more. And I said, oh, that's what oh, yeah. When I argue with a police officer, when I get pulled over for speeding because I drive too fast, that's my judgment, I live. Sandra Bland did not live when that happened to her. Right? And that all affects me quite deeply and quite personally. I will in a little while. Okay? Yeah, I will. I will look for that movie for you. Okay? Give me a break. So I'm going to put this meat in. It's got a big bone going all the way through it. That's all bone right there.
Can I help?
You can put the salt in.
Okay. Where's the salt?
I will get you the salt.
Hi. You can't see me.
Yeah, okay, so here's some salt. We're going to put that in on top of the meat. Go ahead and shake it. This is kosher salt. Oh my goodness. Okay. Good enough. Come over here. Here come my sous chefs. Shake. Okay, that's enough. And then we're going to put in, okay, you guys done? Great.
No, I'm not done.
Okay.
Now what are we going to do?
Now we're going to get some seasonings in there. You got the meat in. Oh, I didn't put in the sweet potato, so I'm going to cut up the sweet potato and then you can put it in. This sweet potato is too big for that pot. It's like as much as the meat, and the meat's going to shrink a lot, so I don't want to overwhelm it with sweet potato. So I'm going to use half of this. And then you put the other half, I'll make a breakfast hash out of it, so it doesn't go to waste.
Can I go put this in the microwave?
Sure.
What is that?
The heat's not on because it's going to go in the Instant Pot.
The Instant Pot. Yes, the Instant Pot.
Okay, buddy, put these in the pot. Put these in the pot. Here's some more. Here, put in some more. Okay,
Coco's
good.
outside in the backyard.
She is. Go see her. Oh, can you put on some shoes? Yeah, I was not effective on that. All right. So in there, I'm going to put in 1 cinnamon stick into the pot, in between the meat. I'm going to put in, I'm going to use ground cloves. I'm not using whole cloves because the
Mama.
cinnamon stick I can find, but the cloves I don't think I
Can
can
we go
find.
play in the backyard until you're done with your video and after you turn
Yeah,
on?
but Martin, put on those blue Crocs. Try put on the blue Crocs.
I don't want them.
Well, then go get your shoes and put them on. So cloves are really powerful, so I'm going really light on the cloves. And then I'm going to put in 2 bay leaves, because maybe 3, because he's got little. Where's my camera? 2 bay leaves. Maybe, I think 3. And I'm counting these things because, these bay leaves and cinnamon sticks and whole cloves are inedible, and they're not fun to get caught in your teeth. So I want to be able to count 3 bay leaves and 1 cinnamon stick. And then I've got some thyme. I have this jar that's almost empty, so I'm going to put in the rest of that. Dry thyme. And then I'm going to add to it, I want a bunch of thyme. So that's a good teaspoon. A good teaspoon of thyme. And I'm going to rub it a little into my pot. And then I'm going to put in some black pepper. Where's my black pepper? There's my black pepper in my grinder.
I can't do it. Yes.
Take a break to get the shoes on the child so he can go outside to play. You got it, buddy? Oh, you got it. You can do it. 4-year-olds can just be so independent, right? So I've got the thyme in there. And then I'm going to get my sweets in there because this is a sweet dish. So I'm going to put in some apricots, less than there was sweet potato, a handful. That's like 2/3 cup of apricots.
I can't do it.
You almost got it, buddy.
I can't. Can you do
Yeah,
it,
you
Mom?
got it. You got it. Okay. Okay. Here we go.
I don't want you to bring your bike, Coco. I just wanted you to swing.
Okay, go on. She'll help you with the swing. The best laid plans, right? So apricots, and then about the same amount of prunes. There we go. Nice juicy pitted prunes. I'm going to check them, make sure that there's no prune pit parts. I hate coming across a prune pit part. You know, I'm not happy with that. The prunes are my favorite part, so I want double the prunes. I'm going to do another handful of prunes. I'm going to squish them to make sure there's no prune pit parts in my pitted prunes. It's slow cooked, so I don't have to worry about how full I get my Instant Pot. And then some raisins. All right, so another handful or so of some raisins. Good. And then some filtered water. It's gonna get everything covered. There we go, good enough. And I purposefully undersalted it. There we go. Pot of deliciousness into the Instant Pot. Put the lid on. And mine works this way, and I'm gonna put it on slow cook. I'm going to do it I'm just going to turn it to 8 hours. I don't know if I'm going to let it cook that long. I'm going to put it on high, which is 208. Good with that. And I'm going to hit start and let that start cooking. So there you go. Tzimmes. It means mixture. It's sweet beef stew. You can make it vegan. You can just do onions and potatoes and sweet potatoes with apricots and prunes. and raisins if you want. Some people put, like, top it off with some walnuts at the end. We used to make that all the time when I used to participate in a vegetarian Seder. We'd make the vegetarian Tzimmes, and it's still delicious. The onions caramelize if you do it in the oven or slow cooker, make it delicious. My grandmother's was always like, at first, like, I hated it when I was my son's age. When I was 4, I was like, ew, gross. But then I secretly loved it, and I couldn't admit to anybody how much I loved it. But I always took second helpings because it's just so delicious. The potatoes and onions and dried fruits all mixed together into a delicious mix of different textures and flavors, and I pull that into my life. I like having people from different backgrounds and lifestyles and people different from myself. It's always been really important in my life to have my community not be monotony, variety, flexibility, and peace in the world, because love is infinite. There's enough to go around. We just have to give it freely in the right ways. I mean, the right ways, that's really judgmental. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that we're going to work this out, and for the better, but it's time for a change. Change has to come, because it has not been right in this country. It has not been right for a long time. Thank you for coming and watching my whole long show on Tzimmes. I'll let you know how it tastes tomorrow when I have it for lunch. Thanks so much. Have a blessed day, and all my gratitude goes out to all the first responders, the doctors on the front line, the researchers, hopefully creating a vaccine for this horrible virus that's impacting so many of us. And I'm so concerned that the rightful and justified protests will be hampered by further spikes in cases of COVID, and I'm worried about them, and I'm keeping everybody in my prayers. Thanks so much. Take care. Shabbat Shalom.